If you just got a Steam Deck or you're just looking for some new games to try, I've got you. These are the 8 games I will never delete off my Steam Deck. Alright, let's start it off with no other than GTA 5. This game honestly runs really well on the Steam Deck, way better than you'd probably expect. It's smooth, it's stable, and there's just something different about playing GTA in a handheld form. Like, being able to just lay back on the couch, chill in bed, or take this thing on a trip and still fully jump into Los Santos. It's just a good feeling. You're getting the full GTA experience. The huge open world, the story, the chaos, the radio stations, all of it. Well, everything apart from online. But honestly, for handheld play, the single player is where the real magic is anyway. And the controls actually feel natural on the deck. And if you're willing to tweak the settings a little bit, lower shadows or reflections, then you can get this thing to easily run over 60 frames per second, which is a really great experience. And at that point, you kind of forget you're even playing it on a handheld. So far, I've put in quite a few hours to GTA 5 on the Steam Deck, and it's honestly been a really good way to play it. Alright, next up is Hades, and honestly, this game just belongs on the Steam Deck. If you don't know this one, it's a roguelike action game where you're basically fighting your way out of the underworld. Every run is different because you get different upgrades, weapons, and god powers, so it always feels fresh. What makes it so good on the deck is how tight and responsive the controls feel. Dodging, attacking, casting abilities, it's all really good, and the art style is insane. It just all looks really great on the small screen. And because runs are like 10 to 20 minutes each, it's perfect for when you want to pick up the deck and just get a quick session in. It runs at a super smooth 60 FPS on the LCD model or 90 FPS on the OLED model, so every movement feels super clean. Whether you're just chilling or trying to sweat out a serious run, Hades is just one of those games that runs great on the handheld. Definitely one that's never leaving my Steam Deck. This game has honestly been super addicting and I've started playing it a lot recently, so yeah, definitely recommend it. Alright, now moving on to something a bit more chaotic, we've got Brotato. Guys, you can't really go wrong with this one. This one is one of the best pick up and play games you can have on your Steam Deck. It's a wave-based auto shooter where you're basically a potato with way too many weapons. And you're trying to survive against endless enemies and upgrading your gear each wave. It's simple but really addicting. You can literally play this game for 2 minutes or 2 hours. It's perfect for when you're waiting for something, chilling in bed, or you just want a quick dopamine hit. It also runs flawlessly and barely uses any battery power, so it's great for travel or long play sessions without charging. I've personally sunk way more hours into Brotato than I'd like to admit, and it's honestly because this game is just the perfect quick, addictive pick up and play game for the Steam Deck. And for the price point, it's really good value. I'd definitely recommend it. The next game is Stardew Valley. This game is basically the king of cozy games. Farming, fishing, mining, talking to villagers, decorating your farm, you just get lost in it. And on the Steam Deck, it's honestly its best form. What makes Stardew Valley perfect on the deck is the pacing. You're not forced to rush anything, and you decide how fast or slow you want your day to go. You can play for 5 minutes, water your crops, check on your chickens, and then put the deck down. Or you can play for 4 hours, planning the perfect greenhouse layout, and that's what makes it so addictive. The battery life on this game is also insanely good. Like, you can literally play Stardew Valley for hours without even thinking about charging. I can squeeze out a good 8 hours on the Steam Deck, and that's what makes it so good. It doesn't drain your deck like some heavier AAA games, and that's what makes it one of the best travel games. The music is calming, the pixel art looks perfect on the smaller handheld screen, and the controls feel natural. You grow crops at your own pace, help villagers with side quests, and fish by the river. It's just really relaxing. I've put in a crazy amount of hours so far, and if you want a good cozy game, I definitely recommend adding this to your Steam Deck library. Alright, so now we're getting into one of my personal favorites, and honestly one of the main reasons I even bought the Steam Deck. Dark Souls 3. Because here's the thing, the game runs insanely well on the deck, like surprisingly well. The performance sits really close to a stable 60 FPS most of the time, and on the OLED screen the game just pops, and the colors just hit different. Overall, it's just a really good experience. I'm sure a lot of you have played Elden Ring before, but if you haven't played Dark Souls 3 yet, I honestly couldn't recommend it enough. People always say Dark Souls is hard, but it's not hard just to be annoying. It's more like the game expects you to pay attention, learn the enemy patterns, pick your moments, and stay calm when everything is going wrong. And when you finally beat a boss that you've been stuck on, it feels surreal. And on the Steam Deck, or honestly any handheld, the experience is just too good. Being able to pick it up, try a boss a couple of times, put it down, come back later, it just fits perfectly. This is one of those games that just belongs on the deck. Alright, so now we're moving into something a little different, Risk of Rain 2. This one's actually pretty new for me, I only started playing it recently, but it's been growing on me really fast. Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person roguelike shooter where every run feels totally different. You start off pretty weak, and then as you play, you're grabbing items, stacking upgrades, and slowly turning into this absolutely broken, unstoppable machine. The longer you take, the harder the game gets. On the Steam Deck, this game just flows. The visuals are super clean and the OLED screen looks great. You could do a quick 15-minute run or you could lose an hour without even noticing. It's pretty cool. And performance-wise, it's great. Smooth frame rates, super responsive controls, and it doesn't drain the battery like some AAA games do. Alright, now let's get into Dave the Diver. And I'm gonna be honest, this might actually be the game of the year for me. And I mean that seriously. When I first started playing this, I ended up putting like 40 hours straight into it without even realizing. So Dave is this chill guy who spends his days diving in the ocean, and then at night he's helping out to run a sushi restaurant. It sounds weird, but it works perfectly. And the comedy in this game is actually really good. Like the cutscenes and character personalities are genuinely funny. It just has this charm and really good vibe to it. And it never gets boring because the ocean changes every time you dive. Some dives are calm and relaxing, you're just vibing, catching fish, enjoying the music, and then other dives there's bosses, weird mysteries, and all sorts of surprises really. But the deep sea exploration is where the game really shines. You're constantly upgrading your oxygen tank, your spear gun, your storage. Also you can go deeper, catch bigger fish, and discover new areas. And every time you upgrade something, the game opens up just a little more. And then the sushi restaurant part, it's actually sick. You're serving dishes made from the exact fish you caught earlier. Customers are reacting, you're making money, hiring and training staff, and it's just a really good mix. On the Steam Deck, it's one of the best cozy games you can play. It looks great, runs great, and the OLED screen looks insane. It's easily one of the best games on my Steam Deck. Alright, I saved the best for last. Hollow Knight Silksong. The original Hollow Knight is one of the greatest indie games ever made, no doubt. But now that Silksong just came out, I thought I'd put it on this list. Man, this thing is just too good on the Steam Deck. The game just has a vibe to it from the moment you start playing. It pulls you into this incredibly mysterious world that just feels alive and full of secrets. You play as Hornet and the movement in this game is just smooth. The controls feel fluid, quick, responsive. Every jump, dash and strike just clicks. There's this like elegance to the combat and one of the most satisfying games to play on a handheld. What really makes Silksong special though is the sense of discovery. You're constantly exploring, unlocking shortcuts, finding hidden areas, and slowly understanding the world piece by piece. And let's talk about the bosses. The bosses in this game are insane. They're super creative and intense, and when you finally beat them, you know that you've earned it. On the Steam Deck, this game is honestly magical. The OLED screen makes the art style pop, and the performance is smooth and locked in. This is the kind of game you think about even when you're not playing it. It's challenging, it's beautiful, and it really sticks with you. So yeah, those are the 8 games I will never delete off my Steam Deck. If you're looking for some solid games to add to your library, honestly any of these are going to be a great pick. Let me know down below what you guys think of my list and what your top Steam Deck games are. If you guys got this far, drop something down below to let me know. I really appreciate it. And of course, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys in the next one.